And the number one player on Jamie's big board, top 200 for the 2021 fantasy season, Christian McCaffrey, tops his list. Listen, TDN fantasy bingo players, I told you that you might get another free space a little bit later on. I know
this is going to be. All right, Chris, let's talk about this because this one's near and dear to your heart. I know where this is going to be.
DeAndre Swift at number 20. I think this is a little aggressive on your part, but I think your numbers are going to maybe persuade me.
So I'm going to pull back the handy dandy notebook here again because I got a lot of numbers here because I really need to sell Chris on this because he has been trying to sell DeAndre Swift in his keeper league for 3 months now?
He's gone now. I got rid of him.
He's already gone.
I'm out.
So he's successfully done it. So I have Swift comes in at RB12 for me, just sneaks into the very, very bottom portion of RB1 territory. And the reason why is I looked at the way Anthony Lynn has operated his offense the last couple of years. Obviously, there's a new regime in Detroit this year. Lynn has averaged about 22.84 rush attempts per game to running backs over the last 2 years, with his lead back receiving a little over 55% of that share. So just, again, 55% of the share gives me a DeAndre Swift projection of about 215 carries. Okay. Leaves plenty of carries for Jamal Williams, plenty of role for him to be that player that they used as a complement to Austin Eckler, for example, when Lynn was in Los Angeles. From week 8 on last season, Swift averaged 4.31 yards per carry, which will kind of get him down to that workload to about 925 yards. But to me, this is where the biggest thing comes into the equation. And by the way, this is, Swift should be in that 6 or 7 touchdown range on the ground, but it's the passing game that's really going to boost Swift's values. Running backs averaged almost 11 targets per game with Anthony Lynn's offenses over the last 2 years, but Goff hasn't been a big check down guy to running backs. He's only averaged about 4.5 per game. So I kind of split the difference between the two because I imagine Goff's going to be dumping it off a little bit more, particularly with the lack of weapons on the outside in Detroit. So I think we're looking at more of about 8.5 running back targets per game for everybody that's a running back in that offense. And the lead back got about 60% of that. And I think that's what DeAndre Swift will get.